Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Divine. All right, man, before we get into this video, make sure to like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, man, I've been waiting to cover Esports Boxing Club, or now formerly known as Undisputed, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of glad that this game finally came out. It's officially early access, man. It's $29.99, so if you have a decent rig, good PC, whatever it is you have, and you can run games at will with no problem, or maybe you got to tweak some sliders, tweak some settings or whatever, go and pick it up, man. Get you a controller, whether you're wired, whether you're hardwired to the controller, or whether you're wireless, whatever it is, go and pick up Undisputed, man. You won't regret it. But however, we do need to talk about some things that are in Undisputed that need to be fixed, and just a few gripes and complaints, but I'm gonna kind of chop these up over the course of the week with videos. Yesterday I was supposed to upload something, but something came up and I wasn't able to get something out, so definitely it's probably gonna be a double upload today, so look forward to the second video later tonight. But let's get it without further ado, let's get into it. All right, I'm doing too much talking. So one of the things in this game, which I got two sets of clips that I'm going to loop up and play a few times, whether it might be it might be the same fight or maybe a round or whatever. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna loop it up. But either way, I have two sets of clips that I'm going to play, and I want you guys to just see exactly around the ballpark as to what I'm talking about, because you'll see it a few times in some of these rounds. But in one of the clips and one of the rounds that I'm showing off here, I'm playing against Ali, and I have Joe Frazier as one of the boxers that I'm using. Now, one of the things in this game that I don't like is the tracking. All right, so tracking is pretty much the ability for a guy to be able to land a punch square as to where you target it. So just let me just say, for example, of like, you know, if you try to throw a counter punch and you would expect for it to hit its target, but instead some of the times when you throw the shot, it doesn't land where it's supposed to be at. Not because of head moving, but just because of other circumstances. Now in this game, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I often use Fight Night Round 4 or Fight Night Champion, or Fight Night Champion rather more so. I use that as a form of reference, because that's pretty much the only game that had, I want to say, more technique. I know it was cheesy in a way, but everybody had different punch techniques, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I see this game a lot of the times and I'm playing it, and counter punching is my thing. That's what I do. You know, I understand that not every fighter is going to be accurate with their shots, and I completely understand that. But however, you can't have these guys being able to counter punch, or if there's opportunity to counter punch, you can't have me squander that away, because when I throw a counter punch and your head is like right dead center, not moving, when I try to throw a punch, let's say like a straight, right? If I throw a straight, when I throw that shot right after I come back from either slipping, or if I lean back or lean out of the way, there's no reason for whenever I throw the straight for it to land just on the side of your head or lands on your shoulder. There's no reason for that. And you're not even hitting me. You're not even hitting me to throw it off center, like to offset the punch. You're not doing that. For some strange reason, for whatever reason it is, when I throw that shot, it isn't on center. Somehow I end up missing you, even when you're not moving your head. Same thing with a jab sometimes. Sometimes the jab isn't centered. Now, like I said, I understand that fighters aren't going to be accurate 100% of the time. I completely get that. But you can't squander that away because of a fighter's technique. And I'm going to talk about that too also. Now, another thing when it comes down to tracking is, I understand that if a guy's on the move, I'm not expecting for him to hit him, or if I say, for example, if I pop a jab or something like that, I'm not expecting for him to be able to line that shot up and land a jab every single time wherever he's going to land. I'm not saying that he should have auto aim capabilities for popping a jab or throwing a shot and it should land every single time. I understand that there's going to be shots that he missed, but if the tracking is done properly, there should be no reason for it. If I'm throwing a shot to counter yours, for whatever reasons, whether it be a hook, jab, straight, whatever it is, there should be no reason as to why that shot gets missed. Or sometimes the shot doesn't even get registered. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna save that for a different video, because sometimes these hitboxes can be a little wonky. So I'm gonna save that for a different video. Now, aside from that, I really feel like sometimes it depends on the boxer. If, you know, the tracking is done properly, if the guy's actually landing the shots that I'm throwing, you know what I'm saying? But still that shouldn't render some fighters, it shouldn't render some fighters not able to throw shots because of maybe their technique. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make a video talking about that too. But yeah, the tracking needs to be tightened up. I need to see a little bit more accurate punching from some fighters, if not all fighters. You know what I mean? Because think about it, these guys are professionals. These guys are consummate professionals. You know, they don't sleep. I mean, they eat, sleep, and pretty much do out boxing. That's what they do. They live it, breathe it, sleep it, eat it. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. You know what I'm saying? So there should be no reason as to why they should be missing shots. Do they miss shots sometimes? Yes, no problem. They miss them sometimes. But however, these guys are pretty much like 95% of the time proficient at what they do, you know, regardless of the technique or whatever style it is that they have. So I really feel like tracking should be really, it should really be looked at, because some of the times I'll throw a shot and it doesn't land for some strange reason, even when the guy's not moving his head. Moving on, I want to talk about this game's ability to not really reward players for having combinations and just there not being no incentive to throwing combinations, crisp, clean ones at that, and a succession of them that all land. Now, in this game, I've noticed that when I'm playing with, say for example, like in this clip here, which I'm finna loop up, if you look at me playing with Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, Sugar Ray Leonard is not a powerful boxer. Now, of course, you can make the argument with power comes with speed, or speed comes with power. So Sugar Ray is not a powerful boxer like a Marvin Hagler or a Hitman Hearns, but Sugar Ray is quick, he's fast. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, if he hits you so many times, it'll start to add up. You know what I mean? And then when it adds up, then you start getting the ones where, okay, now it's saying you falling, or now you're getting stunned and stuff like that. Like, just go look at some of the fights that he had when he did the No Mas fight, or when he fought who else? Who else did he fight? I want to say he fought Hitman Hearns. You know what I mean? No, I don't think he fought Hitman Hearns, but let's just say Roberto Duran, right? The No Mas fight. Like, just look at him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he necessarily dropped Duran, but remember, it added up over the succession of combos that he threw, that it was just like, you know, Roberto Duran threw his hands at him like, I'm done. You know what I mean? But the thing is, though, like, I know Terrence Crawford he's tough. I know he's tough. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I'm throwing these shots consistently back to back to back to back, and you're not doing nothing to protect yourself, at some point in time, those shots have to add up. Counters or not, power punches or not. We're not talking about power punches. We're not talking about that. Power punches should not make it the ultimate way of getting a stun. I don't want to rely on on power punches. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, give you an example in, let's say Fight and Champion again, right? Let's say with that, if you're throwing combinations and you're throwing them consistently, you know what I mean? You got the guy's base speed and his base power, right? If I got somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard and I'm landing consistently, eventually I'm going to stun you. But it shouldn't take no damn in a 12-round fight, 8 rounds for me to stun you. It shouldn't take that much. If I'm landing these crisp and you missing your shots and making you miss and you getting tired, like, I should be stunning you like 5th round, 6th round. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm landing these consistently, there should be no reason for you to be able to still withstand everything that I'm hitting you with. Because like I said, it adds up over time. It adds up. You know what I mean? Now, of course, you know, if you add the loose movement, I think that it might give you a little bit of a boosted percentage depending on your fighter. But with Sugar Ray Leonard, I know for a fact, if I'm landing combinations on you consistently, it shouldn't take that long for it to add up, and then you start getting stunned. You know what I mean? I didn't stun him until later on in the fight. I was talking like 8th, 9th round, maybe 10th round, I think. But these combinations have to become a part of the game. It needs to be more prominent in the game. If you're throwing shots and I'm not protecting myself, eventually it should add up. Regardless of whether he's powerful or not, it should add up. If he's powerful, then it should literally add up quicker than somebody who's just fast. You know what I mean? But like I said, Undisputed is a game that really has potential to do some damage out here. You know what I mean? Because boxing fans really wanted another boxing game. And like I said, this game can do some serious damage, but you have to look at the logic when it comes down to throwing combos and tracking. You have to make sure that these things go hand in hand. You know what I mean? But that's just one side of the puzzle. I want to make sure that you guys, get in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's have a nice little discussion. And let me know what y'all think about Undisputed so far, man. But I'm going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's your boy Jay Devon, and I'm signing out. Peace.